Morning guys, in this one we're doing a service on an Audi A1 2012. It does have an engine management light up as well, but we'll investigate that. So let's take a look and crack on with the job. Let's see what we've got. Turn the ignition up. We've got a spanner, so there's a service light there. And when we start the car, we've also got an engine management light as well. I'm plugged in. Vehicle selection. A1 2011 to 17. I'll do a manual scan. And ECM, engine control management. Read a fault code. I've looked at the exhaust pipe because there was thoughts that it might be DPF, etc. But the tailpipe's really clean. So I'm not thinking that it's a major sooty issue. All right, here we go. So we've got a mass airflow sensor fault. Might simply just want cleaning, which is what I will do today. I'll take that out and also service the vehicle as well. So let's now go into servicing. Service, oil reset. Oh, swap hands. Yeah, ignition is on. We're going major because we're going to replace F2. I'm just going to take the system back to the exit page and then we'll turn the keys off. Just going to open the door so everything I've got out, and then we'll turn the key back in, and the oil service light has now gone. Still got our engine management light, but that's the MAF, so I'm going to leave that for the time being and we'll have a look under the bonnet. This baby hasn't seen the light of day for a while. Oh, we've got some lovely foliage growing here. Yes. Oh, and some spores of fungi. Nice. Oh, and round the wipers as well. Yeah. This is a habitat that should have a preservation order on it. Right. So we're going to do an oil filter, air filter, fuel filter. There's your air filter. And look at that MAF sensor as well. See if we can take it out and give it a clean. So with the top cover off, we've got a better idea of what's going on. Air filter, MAF airflow sensor. We're going to give that a clean. Hopefully that might cure that problem. If not, it may need replacing, but we'll have to wait and see. We're going to do the fuel filter and we're going to do the oil filter, which is tucked away in there, and obviously drain the oil as well. Right, removal of the air filter. You've got 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just see it there, and 6 Torx T20s. You then want to remove these clips, which I'm going to probably need both hands to do. And then we're going to release this clip here, and the electrical connection to the MAF via there, and remove the cover. Right, so these clips lift out of here, like that. Let's just take those out of the way. And that one there, we'll just put that out of the way, up there for now. Then with a screwdriver on the top of the sensor, just where my finger is now, there's a little plug there. But what I'm going to do is just lift out the air filter a little to give me a bit of clearance, and then that pops out of there. So now, with a little bit of jiggery pokery, we should be able to remove the whole top, including the air filter, which isn't terrible, but we're going to change it anyway. Inside that casing is the MAF airflow sensor, which it does look a little bit grubby. There's a tiny little sensor inside there, so we're going to give that a good clean up and see if that rectifies the little issue we've got with the engine management light. There are two Torx T20s either side there, just holding that entire body to the air filter. So I'm going to pull that out now, and once the two screws are out, you should just be able to gently pull it out from the air filter housing. We're going to give that a clean, and then we'll put it back. So let's give this a blast out, see if we can clean it up. It's not one that's very easy to access, so we're going to clean it up as best we can and see if that does cure the fault. So that's about as clean as I'm going to get it, because it's quite embedded in there. So, but it's had a good blast through. I used a liquid moly. That's a MAF. That's an airflow sensor cleaner. You could use clutch and brake, but it's a bit of a delicate part, so I tend to sort of try and stick to the right materials, because different chemicals have got different things in and might do damage to the sensor. But anyway, that can go back in now. I'm going to change the air filter and put that housing all back together. To remove the air filter, it's literally a twist lock, and away you go. And there's your new one. And then you can just locate, you've got these big locators there, pop it in there like that, twist it, and job done. So let's put all that back. Got to put the MAF flow back in here, which is going to be that one there. Push it in gently. Two Torx in there, and then we can put the air filter back. Just noticed it's quite oily in there. This pipe runs to the turbo. Yeah, there's a bit of oil in there, which is not uncommon, don't get me wrong, but nevertheless, we're going to give that a little clean out, and I'm going to run it through with a little bit of clutch and brake cleaner. Let it vaporize a little bit, and then I'm going to fire the engine up just to blast that through. Now when it starts up, it will sound a little bit ropey. If you're not ready, it might even come up with a failed start, but it'll be fine. Don't fall over for a few seconds and then we'll turn it off. Now inside the car at this current state, we've now got the glow plug light, if you want to call it, on. That's the MAF air sensor because it is currently disconnected. So the assembly is back in place. We pop the plug on there, make sure it clicks shut. Going to put this clip back on here, and then the 6 torques around the air filter. So you've got your 6 torques, 1, 2, 3 over the back, 4. You can put your fingers around there to line that one up. 5 and 6. Mass airflow connected and the clamp back on that. So that is that side of it completed. So back in the car, turn the ignition on. Let's see what's going on. Right, clutch. Okay, the engine management light is still there, but I haven't cleared that fault. Okay, right, so we go back into the computer to reset the engine fault. Vehicle selection, A1, manual, and we go on to the ECM. Read the fault code, let's just check there's nothing else in there. Mass airflow. Okay, so we'll go back and we will clear the fault. F2. Oh, done. Okay. And then back. Okay. And then we'll turn the ignition off, turn the key back on, start her up, and the engine management light is now out. So now onto the fuel filter. We are going to remove the fuel filter, put a new one in. This is a diesel, obviously. This pipe is your return to your tank, and this is the feed to the injection system. I am going to plug the return to the tank just to stop the fuel dropping back. And I have a selection of little plugs, which I do use to do that. On each side of the fitting, there's a little plastic clip. And if you push that in, pull it off, and then push your plug in the end of the pipe, that is stopping the fuel vacuuming back into the tank, which will make it a lot easier come bleeding it up. Same with this side. Pop the clips, out you go. You've got 3 retainers on here that it just pops in. So if you just push them back, you can then slide out the fuel filter, and then you're done. So we get the new one, put that in. All I'm doing is just putting some of the old fuel back in the new one, just to again speed up the bleed time. Now I've got a majority of the old fuel from the old filter into the new one. It's important that when you're draining, if you're going to do that and drain the fuel out of the old filter, use it through the outlet port and not the inlet, because the inlet will probably, or it could possibly, allow debris to go back into the new filter. So we've just basically transferred some of the fuel. This one's got an arrow on it, this one pointing to the engine, this one coming from the tank. So we literally just pop this back in the hole until it clips down like that. This one is, the arrow is pointing outwards to the engine. That one just slots over there like that. And then this one is coming from the fuel tank and slots over there like that. Put my little plug back. So we'll start the engine up. Bleeding a fuel system is pretty standard on most diesel vehicles. We'll turn the key. I can hear the pump running. I'm just turning it on and off. Don't know if you can hear that, but it is running. So the fuel pump is okay. I've given the pump a few more goes. All right, there you go. And you're in. All good underneath. Now it's not uncommon with these, if you have trouble bleeding them up, despite me putting fuel in the filter as well, you can still get an airlock on them. If you need to, then, and it won't spin over after, you know, a dozen attempts, don't overcook the starter motor by all means, let it cool down. But you can crack off 1, 2, 3 and 4 injector pipes if you need to, just loosen them up a little bit and then spin the engine over once, come out and have a check to see if there's fuel at each injector, which quite often will not be the case if it won't start initially. So now we're on to the oil change. I'm vacuum extracting the oil. See the colour of it, absolutely black as the ace of spades. So while that's doing, I'm going to loosen off the oil filter cartridge. You need to move this, push that down, and then just gently hook it out of the way. We are also going to need to remove this pipe here to get decent clearance on the cap. A little bit like that, push that down there, out of the way. It's going to buy me a little bit of room, but not a huge amount. Okay, this one's a Torx 30. I'll undo this one as well. There's no point in making life hard for yourself. So we take that all out of the way, like that. Right, 32mm socket. Cool, blimey, that's tight. Oh, there you go. God, that was tight for an oil filter cap. Still, feels very tight as well. And hey presto, we're out. Bit scummy, the old oil filter, but if you're looking in there, yeah, there's quite a bit of shit in there. That's cool. Okay, oil filter removed. Comes with 3 O-rings on this one, so it's worth making a little mental note that the big one, which is the top one, is sitting, it's quite clear, you can see the bigger gap there that's for the larger O-ring. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that one on now. Nicely, gently, gently. Right, okay, that's that one in. And then we've got a smaller O-ring. Hard to get hold of, these slippery little bastards. Right, there we go. Right, so there's the small one. And this one is a slightly larger one. Right. There you go, that's your larger one. And so I'll put the bigger one on first. Over there, and then just tease it into there. Right, so we have our number one, the big one, the medium-sized one, and the small one in. Oil filter, bosh bosh, like that. Push that in so it snaps in, so like that. I'm just going to get a little drop of oil and run it round those O-rings to make sure they're lubed. Nice drop of fresh oil around the O-rings, and then we slide the little darling back down through there. Tell you what, Audi, it's a snug fit, but it goes. It's gone back on a whole lot smoother than it came off. Nuts are out as tight as that needs to be. That's the noise it makes when it's just sucking up air out of the sump. Still pulling a little drop out though. That holds 6 litres. It had a tiny drop in the bottom from the last time I used it, but it's looking quite full actually, so it's nearly nigh on 5 litres there. You might just be able to make out the oil level. That's right at the top. Yeah, very black. Nice and fresh going in now though. Also confirm, put that pipe back, tighten that all up, and the bracket, and put that little sensor back in there so everything's righty tighty there. Now I'm going to put the oil in. It's fully synthetic 530 SFV long life oil. So we'll get that in. I'll put about just under 4 litres in and dip it, check the level. So regarding the fuel line chafing, I've got a little bit of oversized hose, slit it down one side, taken a little piece out so that it can clamp up tighter around the existing pipe, and then I've just basically cable tied that over those little rubbing spots so they should wear out before the hose will go any further. Oil's in, just got to run it up for a couple of minutes and then re-dip, and then fingers crossed we should be there. So that's about it for this one. Hope you enjoyed that, short and sweet. Who knows what I'll be doing in the next one, but like and subscribe if you want to help me with the channel. Take care, thanks for watching, bye for now.